As you head outdoors during the spring and summer, bask in the beauty of the Ozarks. In the local area, we are surrounded by many opportunities to get in touch with nature by hiking, canoeing, camping, and a myriad of other activities. My guest today is Dr. Janice Greene, biologist at Missouri State University. She is extremely interested in environmental education and more recently has expanded her research interests to include birds.
At the Shoals Field Station, we do an annual monitoring program called MAPS, or Monitoring Avian Productivity and Survivorship, which we put 10 nets up, and then we catch the birds and we process them and put a band on them and collect all kinds of information about weight and gender and age and things like that, and then release them. And this is part of a national program to monitor bird populations across the U.S. over long periods of time. So we can get recaptures, that ones that we caught the year before, and we can see how the reproduction is going. Are they producing lots of young, and if any of those survive, and so forth. So it's a really interesting time.
The Shoals Field Station is a great location for faculty, students, and visiting scientists to conduct research and educational programs that increase public understanding for Southwest Missouri's ecosystems. Greene elaborates on another annual bird monitoring project they conduct at this location.
One of the longest that's been going on nationwide is the Christmas bird count, sponsored by the National Audubon Society. So we participate in that as well, and that's just where you go out and count every bird you see on a particular day, and so we can keep track of birds that way as well. We do other monitoring things at the field station, including water quality, and we've just installed a PhenoCam, which is a camera that takes a picture every half hour for 6 hours a day, downloads to a national database, and so that you can go in and monitor seasonal change through color change in the vegetation. So when they start to turn colors in the fall, or when they start to green up in the spring.
From these studies, Greene, her students, and collaborators have learned a lot about bird behaviors. One thing she thinks is most interesting: more than half of Missouri birds are neotropical migrants.
They fly every winter to Central or South America and then back again. And we have had at least one bird, an indigo bunting, that we have caught 6 times. And so it has gone down to Central America and back to relatively the same area for at least 7 years. So that's very exciting news. We have a very steady population of resident birds as well, like cardinals and titmice.
The banding on the birds allows the researchers to recognize birds they've seen before and gives each one a unique identifier. By recognizing migratory patterns of specific bird species, they've been surprised by how many travel such a long distance to come back to the Ozarks.
Well, we do know through a lot of research that certain species go to certain areas. We can't tell you exactly where they go unless we catch that bird down in Central or South America, but we know that certain species go to the Caribbean, certain species go to Central America, and some go all the way into South America. So just by knowing what the species does, we know where it goes.
Greene is passionate about the subject of birds and thinks they are a great research subject, especially to teach us more about our local environment and ecosystem.
First, they're very visible, and a lot of animal groups are not that visible. So we can monitor them fairly easy by checking them. And I don't think that most people are aware that many of our species migrate, and migrate long distances, sometimes, a full 24-hour flight. We have birds that stay here all year. We have birds that migrate, and that gives us an opportunity to see how things affect them. So we can monitor climate change. Does that change the timing of when they migrate or not? Is there some kind of storm system that has decreased the population because the birds got caught in that during their migration? We can also track the local residents to see how winters affect them. Did a hard winter affect the population? Did a mild winter, is the population continuing to grow? So birds are a really excellent tool to monitor changes in the environment, as well as they're easy to enjoy and see.